Hi, I'm Max Vignola, and I'm one of the owners here at Gaming Groove.
I'm Kellen Buncher, and I am also one of the owners here at Gaming Groove. I guess about 5.5 years ago, maybe. During COVID, I had got cut back to about 12 hours a week. Max and I were friends. His business that he worked at, which was another video game store, went out of business, and I did basic repair for them on occasion, and then we had a relationship. We ended up talking. Then we had a friendship. Let me rephrase that. One day I called him because I knew it didn't look good at the business that I was at, and I said, I think I'm gonna start up a video game store. And Max said, you want a business partner? And that was it. Like, we did it.
Well, it's something that I had been doing for years at that point, working at a different store. And when that store closed, I saw that there was a void here in the city for business selling not only video games, but movies and music and everything of that ilk. And so it immediately was important to me to give fans of physical media, nerds alike, a space for community. And the best way to do that is by putting together a shop. It's been long enough for him that he doesn't remember.
Yeah, barely. Actually, the first video game store that I really frequented and went to on a regular basis was the one where he worked. And they had opened in 1996, and I became a regular customer there because they had a bunch of Saturn games for $2 a piece. And I ended up stockpiling Saturn games because that was the only console I had outside of an Atari 2600 and an Odyssey 2. And then I hadn't been there in a while, and I started going back, and he was working there when I started going back, and we just formed a friendship and went on from there.
My first experience with a video game store was actually just the video game rental section of my local Hollywood Video growing up, and I would terrorize them for GameCube games, specifically Simpsons Hit and Run and 1080 Avalanche. There were a few others, but those were pretty much my go-tos that I kept out on rotation. Well, I think we can both agree on Glover for N64.
Yes.
Personally, if I were to give like a top 5 in no particular order, I would say Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's just incredible, immersive, fantastic. It just hits every little tick mark on what I'm looking for in a game. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga's up there. Mario Kart Double Dash is probably my favorite game of all time because it's what my sister and I played all the time growing up. Basically, I'd lump all of the third-gen Pokemon games together. And to round that out, I'm not sure what the other one would be. There's so many great options.
One of my favorite all-time video games.
It's Ghost of Tsushima. There we go. Sorry.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's yeah. Would be Area 51 on the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, which when we were setting up the shop, we would play every night
After
right
we
before
finished
we would head
working.
home.
Yeah. And then I have a lot of games that I love. And I'll play everything from old Atari games and Odyssey games all the way up to games that are currently coming out. But I would have to say that in terms of genre, I love action RPGs. I love RPGs, JRPGs. I can't really pinpoint a particular game that I think is better than everything else. But I enjoy a lot of stuff.
We're cute. There's better answers than that. That's just what came to my head. No.
So our whole goal when we very first started, one of the things that we talked about in depth was making a store that we would want to shop at as gamers.
And someday we'll achieve that.
Right. and you know, it's something that's been very important to us is making sure that we have games that are not gouged and overpriced, making sure that we have almost everything that you're looking for, and whether it's to be able to mod your system or to be able to just play a traditional system and you don't have a video cable or you don't have a memory card to that system, you know, we try to make sure that we have all of that. And also just not be rude and not act like we're too cool to speak to the customer. I don't know.
You would say something like that.
Because I've gotten that vibe from so many stores over the years. And I would much rather a customer come in and feel comfortable and know that we're here for everybody. We don't care who you are. We don't care, you know, what you're into. If you are here, we want you to feel at home. Is the bottom line.
We're both punk rockers, and it is a core philosophy of ours to create a space that is for everybody. So
yes,
that's a big thing. And I think another thing that sets us apart, makes us unique, is our scope of inventory. Because, you know, you'll go to a game store, they might have a couple movies, like a small little movie section. They might have like a small little music section with a couple of records or CDs. We have a full-on record store and movie store as part of the business as well. There's whole rooms dedicated to both of those things.
Yeah.
So it's really more than just a video game store. It is a store for physical media collectors of all kinds. I think that's neat.
Yeah. We like he said before, we still have work to do to get to the point where we truly want to be. But, you know, we're a small mom and pop shop. We're just trying to do the best that we can. And it's one day, hopefully we'll have a perfect music room or movie room or video game room. But right now, we're doing the best that we can and trying to make it where, you know, the stuff, we at least know where it is.
Well, I mean, as a business, we do partake in conventions. There's Super Cincy Expo, which is local. They're a newer convention. We tabled with them for the first time last year. And that is, I think, the only local gaming convention. And then one that we absolutely, we plan our whole year around it is TORG, the Ohio Retro Game Convention, up in Columbus. It's annual. It's up at the Convention Center in Columbus. It is the largest video game specific convention in the region, and the people who run it are great, and you never know what kind of cool gaming stuff they're gonna have up there. It's massive and it's so cool, and I have to budget like $500 a year just to go up to the convention. I come back almost buying more than I've sold.
Also, Max, outside of this, Max is an amazing musician and does a lot in the music industry and in the city.
It's I've been part of music and like the artistic community my entire life, and I've really learned how valuable it is to have creative communities, both from an output standpoint and from a consumer standpoint, just people who love and support the arts. And that's what this is. Music is an art, film is an art, games are an art. I know there's been a lot of debate about that, especially over these past few years with games as art, and it's something I truly believe in. I think it's just very important to promote these things and lift up the creators, lift up the consumers, and just get everybody fully behind this thing in one space. So I come here and I create a community space for this, but then I also go out and I try to book shows and host bands, comedians, and stuff like that, because I know what it means to be an artist. And this is your passion that you're making. Every single one of these games is somebody's passion, and they got to make it, and that's so important that there's people out there who want to be part of that thing that they've made. I think it's awesome.
I love working on electronics. I have for years, and it's something that just gets me going. I also have a lot of hobbies, and so outside of collecting video games and video game consoles and music and movies, I love to crochet. I love to.
He made me a scarf.
I did make him a scarf, and I make lace too, and I make all kinds of stuff. But then I also do wood carving. I would consider myself an all-around artist in terms of the things that I enjoy doing. I love painting. I love drawing. I love just doing pretty much anything that involves doing some sort of creative activity. And bicycles. I love bicycles.
I want to ride my bicycle. So one of my favorite games that, people come to the shop, they'll be looking for a game, they're not really sure what they want. One of my favorite games to recommend to people is Thrillville Off the Rails on like PS3 and Xbox 360. It's a fun little kind of roller coaster tycoon-y game, but it's got so many awesome mini games that like you can have fun with for days. So it's kind of, to me, that's one of my favorite hidden gems, just because the mini games are so flippin' good.
Well, Glover 64, I definitely don't think gets enough credit. Pop Full Mail is another game that I think doesn't get enough credit.
That's a really good game.
And I've had
Blinks?
a blast. Blinks! That's it.
There
Thank
we
you
go.
so much.
Figured it out.
Yeah. As I get older, I get a little more forgetful. But yes, Blinks, the Time Sweeper, is a game that I definitely don't think gets enough credit.
Don't feed your fish too much.
That's good.
It's good
Don't look
advice.
directly into the sun.
Yeah. Always look both ways before crossing the street.
If you want to come to a place where you can feel welcome and you can find a lot of stuff in video game culture come here. We truly think we have something special.
Or if you're even not into gaming culture, we got movies and music too.
Right.
Some for everybody.
Right.
We do have a website, www.gaminggroove.com. That's GAMENGROOVE.com. We don't really use that much. We're mostly on social media. Our Instagram @GameandGroove, spelled just the same way as the web address, and on our Facebook page as well.
Our website is predominantly for directions and phone number.
Because we want you to come in and hang out and have a laugh with us, or don't have a laugh with us, because sometimes we're just not that funny.